So I don't understand how people can watch the like multi-camera sitcom format. I don't get it. Everybody loves How I Met Your Mother. I tried to watch like 4 episodes and I was like, done. Um, so my teeth are all. I was just looking in the webcam before I hit record to make sure there wasn't anything in my teeth because I ate just like a whole bag of these chicken strips. I love chicken. Chicken is the most delicious animal, and I have a really hard time, like, when I have these in the house, I'll get these to make something. And, oh, that looks good. There's a salad on the back. I'm gonna get another bunch of these. Weatherman. I'm gonna get another bunch of these chicken strips, and I'm gonna make that salad, and I'm gonna eat the hell out of that salad. I will wreck that salad. So, yeah, anyway, I was checking my teeth to make sure I didn't have any Southwestern grilled chicken strip goodness all stuck up in there. And I realized that my front of my teeth, like, okay, I'm trying to show you on here. Like, if these are my bottom teeth and they're like all straight and beautiful, my top ones are like, boy, I messed that up, didn't I? Okay, these are my bottom teeth, and these are my top teeth, and they go like this. And that when they find my skeleton in the future, and then they reconstruct my face for a PBS thing, my teeth are gonna look super jacked up, and they're gonna be like, "Well, you could tell that this person was, ate too much chicken because her teeth are messed up." Anyway, yeah, there's worse things to snack on. I love chickens. I had a chicken this year briefly. When we moved into this place, it like came with farm animals because the people that moved didn't have any place to keep them, so they just left them, and they're like, well, if the next person wants them, fine, or they can sell them or whatever. So I had like 2 ducks and a chicken, and there were 2 male ducks. So I don't know what they were doing with the ducks. I don't know what the duck's purpose was because it's not like they had a male and a female and they were going to have little ducklings, and it's not like they had females so that they would have eggs. They just had 2 males, like 2 male ducks, and they raped each other and the chicken because the chicken was a hen and she laid eggs. And but I mean, she was a good layer too, like 1 or 2 a day. I mean, way too many eggs. Um, but then the coyotes got them. That's not emotion, that's phlegm. I wasn't really attached. But I couldn't eat my chicken because I didn't know how old she was, and sometimes when they're old, they don't taste as good. And also, it didn't feel right to eat somebody else's chicken, even if they gave. Somebody keeps IMing me. Look at this. Yeah, Neil Patrick Harris is hilarious, Kristen. Okay, so let's see. Now she's gonna watch that and be like, "What the does that mean, Jen?" It was my friend Kristen, and she was like, "Oh, Neil Patrick Harris is hilarious because she's talking about How I Met Your Mother," which is, again, I guess I don't see the appeal. Watch, and then I'll watch like I watched 4 episodes, and I'll give it one more try, and I'll watch like the fifth one, and I'll be like, "Oh my god, it's the best show ever!" And I'll be really obnoxious about my fanishness. So anyway, we are on Blood Ties, book 1, The Turning, by Jennifer Armentrout. Ah, I tried to do the thing again and I stuck my finger in the book instead. This is just a recipe for disaster. Anyway, oh, please note, I'm wearing this shirt. Let me tell you about this shirt. This shirt, as you see, has a very wide neck on it. It's not because it's a large shirt, it's because it was a turtleneck. And I thought I would turn it into like a boat neck. So I turned it into a boat neck shirt. The only problem was that when I did that, I measured wrong. And what I measured for, I didn't measure for turning it over to hem it. Like to, I guess, I don't know if it's called a hem when it's up here because I don't know how to sew. I'm just teaching myself basically. But I didn't measure enough so that there could be, where you turn it over and sew it so there's a neat edge. And so now it's just unwearable for anything except for, see how big that neck is? I look like Fiddler on the Roof. Tradition. Um, yeah, so that's what I'm wearing. It's good. I should start an Etsy store and I should start selling these and pretend like I did it on purpose and be like, oh, they're called, something stupid that, Etsy would, yeah, Etsy. Etsy. Okay, so I bought some really nice things off of Etsy, I should say. Okay, So we're on chapter 6 of the greatest vampire novel of all time. And chapter 6 is entitled John Doe. And this is where we get to meet Cyrus. So, Carrie is gonna go see her sire, and kind of hoping that she's gonna throw water on Dahlia and melt her. She goes to the address that she finds in Nathan's apartment, and she goes to cheesy crazy. Oh, Kristen will watch Doctor Who before she goes to bed. Okay. So she's kind of like, it sucks to be outside in the cold, in Michigan, in the winter when you're dead, because you assume, your body temperature, there's no body temperature, like their hypothalamus stops working or something. She goes into this neighborhood that she describes as, I'd often drive through the winding streets and marvel at the modern mansions and fairy tale chateaus. They looked completely out of place in the sparsely wooded area. Tall brick walls and elaborate gates wrapped around the lots. Some had privacy hedges with formidable-looking security cameras that glared at passerby with cold, glassy eyes. From the shelter of my car, I daydreamed about the people living in these houses and imagining living in one myself in 10 years down the road. So, and then she says that only one house had ever been a feature of a horror story in my mind. That one turned out to be Cyrus. A severe Edwardian manor is set far back on a lawn surrounded by a stone wall. Okay, this is where I've had people in Grand Rapids say to me, "Oh, you're talking about the house on the corner of Plymouth and I want to say Robinson. It might not be Robinson, but they're always thinking that it's the house that's like directly across from, if you're going to the theater on Grand Valley's campus, they think it's going to be that house with the red brick and all those little buildings. It's not that house. It's that land. The land is what I picked. I like the idea, but then if you drive down Plymouth, all the way down Plymouth, from like I'm doing this. Nobody that watches these is in Grand Rapids, I swear to God. But like here's Aquinas College, and here's Plymouth, and if you go this way towards the camera, you're going to be going down to like Brandywine and Nathan's apartment, like above Argos. But if you go this way, oops, wrong way. If you go, if you go that way, you'll be going to Aquinas, to the theater. Is it Aquinas? Yeah, Aquinas, not Grand Valley. I don't know what I was talking about. Ignore me. Then you go this way, and there's a house right there. It's across from Aquinas College, not Grand Valley. So that house there, that land is what I imagined Cyrus to have, but I imagined it would be with the house that's at the other end of Plymouth. And I don't know what it runs into, what street that runs into at the end there, but you go past the hospital and all that. I'm giving you guys these directions as though you live in Grand Rapids and you're going to drive right over there. Or you need to drop something off at Cyrus's house. Or go to a party there. Oh, it's not to go to a party at Cyrus's house. He's so damn pretentious. Okay, it would be like a book club, and all the books would be really sad, and then he would like want to talk about your feelings, and then he would eat you. Okay. Okay, so that's a real place. She goes up to the house. The front door's open. There are guards. She says, it was like I died and been sent to a really Baroque version of hell. I have this idea of Cyrus, like, I have this idea of like every single vampire in pop culture having been based in whole or in part off of Cyrus. And to do that, what I did was I thought of Lestat, and I thought of like if Lestat was just like slightly low rent. And that's kind of what Cyrus is. And I like to maybe kind of imagine in my mind that Cyrus wasn't always this way, but then like he read Interview with a Vampire and he's like, oh, me and Lestat have so much in common. So then he like tries to do the style or whatever and just isn't good at it because he was a peasant. It would be like I think of him as being like nouveau riche but with antiques, in terms of, he was a peasant and he didn't have any money and all this stuff, and what he thinks a very rich vampire should be. So like I said, I like to imagine that he's read Interview with a Vampire and, oh well, obvious parallel between Lestat and I. That's exactly how I am. And then he just does everything just a little bit too wrong. Like he's like, Molly Brown in Titanic. He's like Kathy Bates in the movie Titanic. He's getting everything just a little bit too wrong. Um, so everything's really tacky and awful. And probably not cheap, but the expensiveness probably only makes it gaudy. Let's see. So she ends up in this room with these guards, and then Dahlia comes in to torment her. Dahlia comes in and she's all like Lumos because she went to Hogwarts. She doesn't say that. She says illuminate. And earlier it was like a bastardized Latin. It was like illuminate or something like that. And they were like, nah, just illuminate. I'm like, all right, fine, whatever. Whatever. No, I'm kidding. I don't have bad feelings at all about working on these books. It was totally fun. And everything about it was fun. But it's just funny what you remember when you go back and you look through and you go, I was going to have them say, holy Christ, I'm sorry. I just looked down and I noticed on this bag of chicken that I consumed unwittingly that the expiration date, no, I just bought these. Just, this is what, let's see, what day is it? It's December 14th, okay, guys? It's December 14th, 2011. These chicken strips don't go bad until February 3rd, 2012. Now, that might seem like a relatively short shelf life for something you buy at a Walmart. The story keeps getting worse the more I say it out loud. Anyway, but that seems like a relatively short shelf life. But think about it. This is meat. This is cooked meat, and it doesn't go bad. What do they do to this shit? Now, I don't know what... Yeah, I mean, like, what is... It doesn't seem like there's phosphates. I mean, it doesn't say anything about horrible preservatives. The worst thing I see on here is cilantro. But actually, these are pretty delicious, cilantro or not. They don't put enough in to make them soapy, but wow, that scared me. Okay. Well, just so you know, if, in 70 years, I'm still alive, looking like this, walking around like Mr. Jingles from the end of Green Mile because I can't die, it's because I ate a bunch of this stuff that apparently you can just, it's totally cool to just eat meat that's months old. Good Lord. What do they put in it? Like the water from the fountain of youth? What the hell? Okay. Oh, man. So, then, she attacks her. She and Dahlia get into a totally Dynasty. It's like Dynasty. I imagine it like Dynasty. It's a Dynasty girl fight. They grab each other by the shoulder pads and throw each other into the fountain. So then she sees Cyrus for the first time, and he has this long hair, this long blonde hair that falls like almost to the floor, because I was thinking, if there's any person on this earth who is going to be impractical and stupid for vanity, it will be Cyrus. Cyrus is the Kim Kardashian of vampires. So then, she's like, oh, he's, really handsome. He has these mismatched eyes. He's really mad. And he is mean to Dahlia. And then he's all like, to Carrie, like, he gets all up on her. Like, oh, yeah, I'm your sire. So let's do it, basically. Aw, I think this is the first time that I talk about a stiff cock in one of my books. This is the beginning of a long road of stiff cocks in books that I have written. But that's the first one. Page 103. In the infancy of my pornography. So, let's see. And then she learns about, like, the blood tie and what it makes her do and what the draw is to him. And it's basically, let's see, where's the really good... Okay, this is the thing that people were like, well, yeah, she's got this blood. Like, this is the biggest criticism I've gotten for the whole series. Is, well, she has this blood tie to Cyrus, so like, so what? Blah blah blah. Well, this is what, okay. All of her loneliness vanishes. She's no longer lonely or upset about anything. and all she feels like she needs, like, doesn't need blood, doesn't need love, doesn't need money, doesn't need anything but just to be with him. And she thinks she'll never be happy again. Once she has touched her sire, she feels like she will never be happy again if she, walks away. Um, and then it says, I know now I knew why the movement thought of the tie in such absolute terms. It was better than love, better than success. The blood tie was the culmination of, or the culmination and fulfillment of, all human desires. Okay, so that's, anybody on Amazon who's all like, oh, why did she go with him? My hair is falling down. It's driving me crazy. So yeah, that's just my, like, don't respond to negative reviews. But that was one I never understood. Like, why shouldn't she be totally into it, Cyrus? I mean, there's this bond that's like evolutionarily designed to, what is going on? Well, that she's supposed to want to be with him and she's supposed to fight it. She's a brand new vampire. Jeez, you know? Gosh, give her a break. I know she's like pretty dumb sometimes. Everybody is. Like when they do their hair on a webcam. Okay. It was just falling down and it felt heavy, and like the back of my head was getting heavier and heavier. Man, it's like 16 minutes already. Time flies when I'm having fun talking to you guys. So then she's like, you know, this is a good line. I felt this was a good line. She says, speaking of fire, burning down my apartment isn't exactly the way to a girl's heart. No, he agreed with a frown, closing the distance between us. I find the more effective route is directly through the rib cage. I'm funny. You're funny. You're funny, Jen. Let's see. And then the phone rang. I don't know who that is. Alright, then let's see. They go into another room. They're going to have dinner. He wants her to have dinner with him, which is awesome. And then dinner is a dead body on the table under a big dome platter thing. And he takes the eyes out of the body. It's a girl's body. He takes her eyes out and he puts one in his eye and then he puts another one in his martini glass. And somebody, I did go to DeviantArt one time and searched my name or searched blood ties, and somebody drew a picture of that. I thought it was pretty cool. Let's see. So then she wants to know if Dolly's a vampire, and he's all like, no, and I didn't turn her, but you're special. And she's like, but I was an accident. You didn't mean to make me a vampire. And then, let's see. They talk about why the eye works. They talk about how she's going to barf. They talk about all sorts of stuff. And the movement and how she has to make this decision. And he's like, I can give you power. And she's all like, you know what, that would be great. Except for, I think somewhere in here she says something about how he picked over a dead body like a rotisserie chicken. Which made me hungry for chicken, which is why I went and got the chicken strips. That are apparently going to make me live forever. Or when I die, I'll just stay perfectly preserved like Eva Perón's corpse. I'll be like Stalin all up in there. They'll dig me up and they'll be like, that's because she was so saintly and awesome. And they'll be like, nope, we found this video of her on YouTube where she talks about writing about stiff cocks. She even gave us the page number. Then let's see. She's like, I don't need protection. I don't want you to protect me. I have to think. I have to make a decision. Here's a really pointed thing I felt is that she asks for time to make that decision from Nathan, and he's willing to give it to her. But Cyrus obviously is not. He really tries to manipulate her. So right there, girls. Right there. If they don't take no for an answer. And then she goes back to Nathan's. So we'll see how that goes the next time I do a video. All right. And hopefully I'll keep it under 20 minutes next time. Jeez. All right. Have a good one. And I will post another video before Christmas. This is my vow.